Good morning, guys. It's me, Sloan. This morning, I just want to kind of talk a little bit about jealousy. I know I touched on it in a couple of other videos here and there, but I really kind of wanted to just talk for a moment. Here's the thing, right? And I've noticed this a lot in my family and in my friends and in the former psychopaths in my life, where it starts off just slightly and then it builds, At first it starts off with, having someone in your life who you kind of rely on and depend on, and you include them in your life. But they're not the only person that you include in your life, and they're not the only person you rely on. They're not the only person you depend on, because you don't rely on just one person. I'm a person who has many friends and many family members. I was raised by a lot of different families, and therefore I have a lot of family around me, and they kind of get jealous over each other. Like, they want to be my favorite family member. Each member wants to be my favorite and the only person I rely on, which is weird because I have an extremely large family and I lean on each of them a little bit here and there. I don't lean on anyone specifically all of the time. I just don't. It's not my thing. I have learned to lean on me most of the time. My dad, the man who adopted me, he said something to me a long time ago, and it kind of scared me. It made me think that he was disowning me. But here goes. He told me, yeah, his exact words were, "Baby girl, sometimes the only person you can really rely on is yourself." And he said this in a very auspicious time in my life when I was dealing with an abusive boyfriend. And I thought this was his way of telling me that if you're not going to tell me about the problem and you're not going to let me deal with it, well, then you're going to have to deal with it on your own. I thought that's what he meant. But then he continued and said that even if he wanted to be there for me, sometimes life has other plans, and he could be rushing over on his motorcycle to come and get me, and he could get hit by a truck and he won't be there for me, so I'd have to learn how to deal with it on my own. And so I've always taken that advice to heart, and I've always learned to rely on myself. Even if I'm asking someone for help, I still come up with a contingency plan to handle the situation on my own, just in case I need to, just in case that person gets hit by a truck on their way to help me. But I always have a contingency plan just in case. That being said, recently, with the moving of my furniture out of my living room and all of that, I had 3 people who were going to help me. One of them was out of town, and another one has children, and the other one um, had offered, and he isn't family, and so I didn't feel that he was heavily inclined to do so. So I had asked the other 2. The one that has children called and said that her children had gotten sick and couldn't come to help. That's fair. The one who was out of town claimed that she would be back in time to help me, and well, things got wonky and her ride didn't show up in time, and she came back into town late in the evening, and she's not comfortable with traveling late in the evening, and so therefore couldn't travel until the morning. But the night that we had set up to move everything, the other person came through, and he was sitting here and he was waiting, and we were waiting for her to show up, and she didn't call, she didn't message me until after everything had been moved, actually. And he got restless. He was like, "Listen, I could do it on my own. Don't worry about it. I'll do it." And he did. He literally moved all the heavy ass furniture in my living room, and he moved the furniture in the spare room. Like, he moved everything so that it would be convenient for me when these guys came here to do the work. Now, that being said, this person has done a lot for me recently. He's even fed me when everyone's so concerned that I'm so anorexic. It's not that I'm anorexic. I'm not falling back into old ways, although I have leaned on those tendencies. I've done some fasting here and there. I have not gone back to being anorexic for the weight loss. He has come by with food and literally fed me on days that I have had no food in the house because I have a broken toe, and going grocery shopping is not exactly a thing that you should do on a broken toe. So he has gone out of his way to go and get me pizza or a pie or chips and soda and things when I've needed it. So when I say that the other two have called me and literally cursed me out for allowing this man, one, in my house, and two, to help me, because in their opinion he is only doing so to sleep with me, you have to understand my level of apprehension with speaking to my family members on this matter, because he has been nothing but a help and a good friend in this time. But it leads me to believe that their apprehension towards him isn't because he's helping me. It's because he's helping me when they are not. And it's not because they don't want to, it's because they cannot. And so they feel threatened by his presence. And they are jealous over me, again, as if I am their husband. And it's a little bit wild because this is the kind of approach my family takes with me on a semi-regular basis. I am not their husband, and yet they have jealousies towards me as if I am, because I, for the most part, am reliable, and when they need me, I am there. And when I've needed them, for the most part, children have gotten sick, schedules have clashed, or things have simply come up. And while I understand this and I accept this, it happens more often than not this way when I need them. But when they need me, I will move hell and earth to make sure that I can be there for them. This guy, this friend of mine, he does it for me without question and just because. And he's not family. That I'm leaning on him really shouldn't be a threat to my family. They should be happy that I have someone here who is taking care of me who isn't them, because they are unable to do it in those moments. I'm not saying incapable. I'm saying in those moments they are unable. And they should be happy that I have someone who is. I don't think it's unfair. I think that they should give him a little slack and stop looking at him as if he is the enemy. I feel that he is a very good friend and a kind man. And I don't feel that he should be getting the flack that he is getting from my family. I feel that this is going to become a little bit of a mess when it comes to my birthday party, but I'll be damned if I don't invite him. He deserves to be here every bit as much as they do. They're my family, and he is my friend. And so, on that note, I just feel that the whole jealousy thing and the whole throwing accusations thing, it's more over their guilt for not being here, which, fine. If you feel guilty, then maybe that's on you. But don't give him flack for being there when you cannot. That's my take on the whole situation. On that note, I'm going to let you go and see you soon, because I have construction workers walking in literally in about 7 minutes. So I will see you guys soon. Bye.